Alright, what's going on YouTube and vapors around the world? Today we are doing a review on the Smok's newest release, the GX2 4 kit. We'll get into how it got that name as we go along. So let's go ahead and just open up the box, take a look what's in there. I use it today. I gotta say, smoktech did not disappoint. Solid device. As you can see, the mod tank isn't in here. We'll get to that. As usual, I am pleased with their tank, their coils, as well as their box mods as well. Nothing any different from any of the other products I've had from them. The authentication plaque here, standard in all of their kits. Battery safety, very important. Gives you a little breakdown of what you should look out for, from a little bit of wear and tear to dangerous. Really, any wear and tear is dangerous on your batteries, and you should replace them immediately. There's nothing more important than safety. Then we have our little user manual here, but we'll get into a lot of these details. This is something when you pick the kit up, you can go ahead and take a look at it. Just browse through it. But if you're picking up a mod like this, chances are you probably are familiar with them, or maybe you're upgrading and it will be very helpful to you. So, moving on, the next little bit in there is some extra O-rings, top cap plug, as I would call it, right here, in case you lose the one that's installed, and we'll get to where that is. But again, if you're used to this kind of mod, being a box mod, high wattage, high vapor production, you're used to seeing this. Inside, you also have your standard USB charger cord and a band to put around your tank to help reduce the chance of it breaking if you so happen to drop it. There's one other item in there, but we will get to that momentarily. Alright, so starting with the tank. This is the Big Baby Beast, full size. It is a 5mm tank. It has a 24.5 millimeter base to it. This particular mod, you can fit up to 25 millimeters flush with its design. For those of you who are familiar with it, this will be repetitive, but for those of you new, this will be new. Nice to see. Here's your coil. Here's your tank. So you can see there is your threads on the inside, threads on the outside, locks it into place. Very simple. Removed. Just screw it back in. This particular coil is a 0.4 Q2. That's the one that comes in the tank when you purchase the kit. It also has a 0.15, coil as well. That's a T8.15. Biggest difference between the two, as far as wattage goes, is the 0.4 is going to be 40 to 80 watts, where the lowest wattage on the 0.15 is going to be 60, and then it also goes up to 80. You got your air chambers here, adjustable. There's a stop to it, so you won't go all the way around. That's nice because sometimes the tanks get a little tough to get off the mod, especially if there's any heat or they've been sitting on there a while. They get stuck, so this won't keep spinning and spinning on you, and you got to fight with it to get it off. Very, very easy top fill. There it is. It's just a simple hinge here. Just push it down, it locks into place. It's not going to go anywheres once you lock it in, and then just slide it back out again, and you have your top fill. Okay, getting to the mod. Now, for those of you who are familiar with the Alien, you might be used to this. A very, very similar face, the screen. So go ahead and turn it on. There it is. It's identical, really. Has your battery life, your wattage, your volts, your ohms of your coil, your amps when you're running it, your wattage, your watts right here. You know how many hits you've taken off of it. It keeps count of that. Looks like I have 48. You know, mode tells you the watts, tells you the temperature, internal. You know, very, very similar, pretty much exactly the same as the Alien. Alright, this particular one is in black and red. They also come in golden black, purple and black, silver and black, black and red, blue and black, red and black, and green and black. Now this is a 220 watt device, just the same as the Alien. This, however, is where it gets interesting. Smok, similar to Wismec did with the RX23, where it went from 2 18650s to 3 18650s. Smok stepped it up a little bit, and they went ahead and made it a dual to a quadruple. So there you have your battery markers, tells you which side of the battery goes where very clearly. So go ahead, this is always going to be your positive. Just slide that in there. Let's go ahead and do that. Where we go. Put the positive in first, or whichever side the pin's on. In this case, you have the negative, has the pin, makes it easier to get it in. Alright, now that you've seen that, you may be wondering, well, how do I get it on there? Very simple. You have a button here, go ahead and push it. It pops it loose. There we go. And there you have it. Now, with the small insert here, you have a insert slot here. Let's go ahead and make sure that the threads are out of the way. You don't want them to cause any interruption with the disconnection, with the connection here. Alright, that's in place. Hold it, push that down, make sure it's secure. There we go. Sometimes there we are. Alright, so now we have it. Now you've converted it from a dual to a quadruple. There we go, it's turning on. The only difference is it says A, B, C, D. That's the only difference in the screen. Everything else remains the same. So let's go ahead and get this off now. There we are. All right, again, small clip up front to the slot. Makes it easy to remember. The GX24 is always going to be at the base of the box mod. Go ahead, hold that snug. Push your button in, you'll hear it click. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're rocking and rolling again. All right, let's go ahead and throw the tank on. Again, this has the 0.4 in it. There you go. Now, to get into your settings, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's going to ask because if it's a newer OLED, that's just asking about the coil. If you just put it in, yes. If you just took it off to fill up the juice, then no. We're going to go with it's new. 1, 2, 3. And then you can just scroll through mode, puffs, settings, power. And in mode, if I let it sit there for a few seconds, watt mode and watts. Temp, it has a nickel, it has a stainless steel and titanium. You can set memory in this like any other box mod. Strength, how hard you want the hit to be. We'll go ahead and you can cycle through how many watts you want for each memory. All right. That's really about it. If you're into temp control, you already know what's going on with that. Essentially, you set it for a certain temperature and the coil does not go over that temperature. Those temperatures are between 200 and 600 degrees Fahrenheit. For any of you who are into the temp control portion of the device, let's go ahead and fill up real fast. There you go. I'm using Van Custard like normal. Can't get off it. Alright, let's go ahead and just throw a little bit of e-liquid in here. Enough to make sure it gets to that coil. Oh, spilled a little bit. That's alright. Trick is just to squeeze that drip tip top a little bit harder. Creates less spillover. In fact, no spillover if you do it right. Alright, let's go ahead and close it. Push it down, snap it in. There we go. So I took the cover off, shut off. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go ahead and get it on and have a quick vape. Alright, it's going to ask me new or old load. We'll go with new. I've only used, it's fairly new. There we go. Alright, so let's give it a quick vape now. It's on, it's rocking and rolling. See what it can do. For those of you who are familiar with this tank, the Big Baby Beast, you already know. But for those of you looking to upgrade or haven't seen it yet, it's a perfect time for you to see what it can do. And there you have it. Just as effective in getting that nicotine delivery as any other Smok tank that they've been coming out with. They're really letting out a lot of hot items.